Hey friends, my name is Maddie, and if this is the first time that you're tuning in, welcome to Primarily Yours, my little corner of the internet. I'm really glad that you're here. This will hopefully be a pretty quick video. I'm not always super quick with my words, but I'm gonna try. Just about some of the Halloween and fall activities and crafts that I am planning to do. I was sharing a little bit on my Instagram stories this week about it, and before I knew it, even though I felt like I was only talking for just like 2 minutes, I had a million story bars across the top within no time. And so I asked if you guys would be interested in seeing some more of the activities in a little bit more detail, and more than 100 of you said yes. So here we are. So I'm hopefully gonna try to make this quick, but I'm just gonna show you kind of my process on figuring out what I'm gonna do. So the first thing that I did was I looked at my Pinterest page, which I'll pause and show you now. So this is a look at my Pinterest page. So I have about 137 pins on there. So I did all kinds of stuff like directed drawings, crafts, ELA stuff, math stuff, videos, books, all that kind of fun stuff. I'll go quicker so that you can see it all. So yes, that's what I did first. So then once I went through my whole Pinterest page of finding all kinds of cute stuff, I then made a list in my monthly plans at the very end of it of just a big brain dump of all the things that I actually wanted to do. Because there's a lot of cute ideas that I saved that I won't necessarily do this year, just not gonna do them. So I wanted to make a list of what I actually was going to plan to do. And then after that brain dump, then I started putting dates with each of the things. So for example, on Friday, October 25th, which is today, this is the activity that we're going to do. So I'll show you that on my plans real quick now. So this is my Google Drive plans. And so on this first page, I make just an overview of the skills that we're learning for that month. And then over here in the outline, I can click on each week, and that tells me which activities we're going to be doing that day. And I really love that because I can hyperlink what we're doing. And then this at the end is where I made my brain dump list, and then this is where I started making the list of exactly what we were going to do on each day. So then after I have planned out when all of the activities are going to happen, then I start going on TPT and clicking on the links on Pinterest to see if there was maybe a freebie that went along with that craft. And if there is, then I go ahead and download it and save it to my Google Drive folder. So I'll show you now how those are set up. And this is what my Google Drive looks like. So I came over to my holidays folder, Halloween folder, and then these are some of the freebies that I either got from TPT or like I made this one and this one and this one. This Shapes Jack-o'-lantern page I made in a few different ways, and I'm going to upload this as a freebie to TPT. I might already have it done by the time I post this video, and if I do, then I'll link it in the description box. So I just went ahead and uploaded all of the TPT things in this folder so that I could easily just come in, and you can't see my mouse, but I could easily print it and it would send it exactly where it needs to go to the printer. One of the easiest ways that I found to organize and hand out materials is with these table trays. So I got these from the Target dollar spot 2 or 3 years ago now, but they have them every summer. And you could get trays like this anywhere, but essentially, I'll show you blue because it's my favorite color, but essentially it's about this big. They were $3 from Target. The label never really came off. So they're not super deep, but they're deep enough that they hold quite a lot of sheets of paper and materials. So I have all of my tables are labeled with a matching bin from Target. So the colors that I use are red, orange, green, blue, and purple. And so I have a different table tray for each of them that matches. And so when we're doing an activity like this, then I'll usually just stack up the materials ahead of time in the trays, and then it's so simple to pass out the trays to each table. So if you don't have a system like this already, I highly recommend it because it helps the little pieces not get lost, and it makes passing out when the kids are ready for the activity really quick. One of the first fall activities that we did starting a couple weeks ago was this fall tree paper tear craft. It was super easy, super low prep, super cute, all the super things. You're gonna hear me talk a lot about die cuts, but basically what a die cut is, if you've never used one before, it's also the same thing as an Ellison die cut machine, but essentially there's just like a foam block with a blade inside in a certain shape, and then you put paper on it and you either press or you roll it through, and it can cut several at a time. So a lot of the things that I'm going to do, I was able to die cut at my county's production lab center thing this summer, which was really helpful because it helped me prep for some things for the whole year really quickly. Like I've already made snowflakes, shamrocks, hearts, trees, pumpkins, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I made these tree branches, and you can't totally see all of the branch details in this one. You can in the next one I'm going to show you. But then I just ripped kind of large squares of paper of yellow, green, and red. I meant to include orange, but I forgot. And so I put this in their table tray along with the background, the brown tree, and the squares of paper. And then I just reminded the kids how to use their pincher fingers, how to tear smaller pieces. I didn't tell them that they needed to make them look like leaves because that just was too complicated. So I just told them that they needed to cover the tree. Meaning, what I was meaning to say was that they needed to cover the branches. So some kids knew what I meant, but I just always forget how literally kindergartners take everything. So one of my kids brought me this and I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, you said cover the tree. I was like, well, you're right. I sure did. They're like, well, it's kind of like the leaves are falling down because it's fall. It's like, okay, I'll give you that. But you can kind of see on this one the detail of the branches of the tree. So this one was super easy, low prep, and very cute. And you can see them behind me. Those are the two that I took to show you. So the next activity I'm going to tell you about is, I called them crazy pumpkins. I don't really know what a real name for these would be. I first saw them from First and Kinder Blue Skies on Instagram. I'll see if I can put a picture in right here of her original idea. So essentially all that you need to do for this is I just rounded the corners of some orange pieces of copy paper that I had. So that was super easy. I tried to do multiple at a time. It didn't work out too well. I could do 2 at a time and it still worked out okay, but when I tried to do 4, that was too many. So I just rounded out the pieces of paper, and looking back, I could have made them a little bit more in a square / round shape instead of all these rectangles, but it's okay. And then I just freehand cut out some leaves and some stems out of brown paper. Cutting out all the leaves and the stems for the whole class of 20 kids took one sheet of 9x12 or 9x18 construction paper, so hardly anything at all. And then I used some circle punches for these eye cutouts. So you just want to make sure that the white circles are bigger than the black circles. And so I actually used the confetti punch that I got from Hobby Lobby over the summer that I used to make my Sweet Dreams Ready confetti thing. So I just made lots of different eye shapes, and you can see like these are different shapes and sizes. So I wanted to give them some variety in what they picked. The only rule that I gave them was that the black circle had to be smaller than the white circle. And then I cut out a variety of different mouths. Again, I just kind of free-handed several. I made some that were like circles that could be a surprised face, made some big, made some little, and then kids just got to pick whichever one they wanted. It was kind of freeing for me a little bit because I'm just so used to everything being like exactly perfect that I was just like, let's see what happens when I cut this mouth out, which I know is a really simple thing that sounds silly to say, but it was very freeing. So yes, I cut out all those things, and then I gave them just a white square, probably about that big, of white construction paper. And then I demonstrated on my document camera how I wanted them to cut the teeth. I told them that they could make rectangle teeth, square teeth, triangles, whatever they wanted to do. That was totally up to them. So I did a couple of silly demonstrations of like, okay, if I cut my teeth really, really tiny, am I going to be able to glue them on very easily? No, probably not. So let's make them big enough that we can get glue on the back of them. So just on each table tray, I had enough pumpkins, leaves, and stems for everyone, some different eye choices, different mouth choices, and then 4 of the white squares of construction paper. And I love that you can see just the kids' different personalities in these. I think that they turned out really cute. This next activity I came up with totally on the fly. It is all about spiders. And so essentially the 3 steps that we're doing was 1, a directed drawing of a spider from First and Kinder Blue Skies. The second thing was a marble roll paint spider web. I'll explain all these things in a minute. And then the kids are going to do a writing prompt with it. So that I kind of just did on the fly yesterday on Thursday, October 24th. I had seen these directed drawings before, but I hadn't bought the pack of them. So I bought the October pack to try out, although I think I'm probably going to buy her full year bundle because I really love directed drawings. And that, again, it's another thing that it's good for the kids to practice following directions, but you also get to see kind of just their personality come out. So this is the one that I did super quick during specials just as an example, and then proceeded to spill water on it if you can't tell. So basically what we did was we did the spider directed drawing, and then we're gonna cut them out. We haven't done that yet. And then I tested mine with blue paint yesterday for the marble roll because I hadn't bought white paint yet. But when the kids did it today, I bought white paint. So essentially what they did was, I took some videos of the kids, so I'll put those in next, but I just got some table trays that I was not using for the actual table activities. I bought some extras in some other colors. And so I just put the paper in the tray, and then you can see kind of the big paint splotch. Let me get my paint, hold on. I just am using this that I had at my house from Joann's or Michael's or somewhere. I don't even know how old it is. But I just put that little dot in the middle right there. Don't use too much. I made that mistake when I was testing yesterday. It goes everywhere. Don't do that. And then you just get a marble and you just kind of roll it around gently. And I taught them how if it was starting to run out of paint, that you just try to kind of direct it back into the paint and then just roll it around. Most of them did a really great job of just like going slowly. There were a couple that got so excited that they were like shaking it everywhere, and one marble went flying and we had to find it. But for the most part, all the kids did a really excellent job with just slowly doing it, and I think they turned out really, really cute. So I put the paint dot where I plan to have the kids put their spiders. Not a good representation, but that's kind of what it will look like. So the spiders will go here, and then the writing prompt will go here. The writing prompt is from Miss Kindergarten, and it just says, a spider makes a pet because so this will be good because we've been working on adjectives, so we'll have to describe what kind of pet a spider would make. I saw this idea from another friend that teaches kindergarten, and she read a book, I think it's called Spider, with it. I'll see if I can find out the real answer and link it down below for you. I don't have that book, but I'm gonna see if I can get it from the library this weekend. So that book, I think, just talked about if a spider would make a good pet or not. So yes, this is kind of what they will look like when they're all done. Once the kids finished today, it took like hardly any time at all for the marble painting to happen. It went so quick. I was really impressed. So we definitely are gonna do marble painting again in some sort this year. But it went really quick. I just had a list of all the kids that I needed to do, and then I called them over one at a time, and I'm going to cover up this kiddo's name, but essentially what I did was on the back I just wrote their name with a marker, and so then I knew whose it was because I knew that having them try to write their names in all this mess would not be good. So I just had all of their names on one, called them over, they did it real quick. It took just a few minutes. So then as soon as they were done, I went and hung it up on the rack that I'll show you in just a minute. How cute are these, you guys? Aren't they so precious? These hanger things, there's my finger. Those hangers are from IKEA that I got this summer. They look like octopi, I'm not really sure. I don't know. So I just used a yardstick, there's my finger. I just used a yardstick on one of my bookshelves and just held it down with something heavy up there. And so that was almost enough rings for all of my kids. I had to double up some of them, but it was fine. I just put the dry side next to each other. So they are actually already dry because it didn't take a whole lot of paint, but I'm gonna leave them like that over the weekend. I'll show you the videos now of one of my kids doing the marble roll painting. They loved it. After the kids finished painting, I try to do all the painting back to back so that I could clean them right away. So after they finished painting, I just came over to the sink and just put water in each of these and let them soak, and I put the marbles in also. And so it's super easy. Once they soak, like all the paint will just come away. So then as soon as I put my camera down, I'm gonna tilt these into the sink and just wipe out all the paint, and they will be good to go for next time because we definitely want to do this again. There's also a couple of writing pages that I'm going to have my kids do. The first one is what should I be for Halloween? I did this last year in my internship and I got all kinds of fun answers like a pizza, a unicorn, a banana, a pirate, all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited to see what they have to say again. This is the one that I printed at my house that's got my picture in color, but then I wasn't going to use colored ink for all of them. So this is the one that I did on the school printer that's black and white, but it's still totally fine. So yeah, that's all for this. So they'll write their name here, they'll draw whatever costume I should be in, and then sound out the word of what I should be, because we are working on sounding out words all the time. And then the day after Halloween, fun fact, we have a field trip the day after Halloween, pray for us please. It's gonna be fun, but they're gonna be crazy and tired. So anyway, the morning after Halloween, I will have them do their memory book page saying I was blank for Halloween. And so I have one of these for almost every holiday that I made. So they will draw themselves and then write it. So this will be kind of a fun progression to see throughout the year how they're writing their name, the picture, drawing, and the writing improves throughout the year. So I'll bind these into a book at the end of the year. So next week, the week that is actually Halloween, we're going to do a little bit of pumpkin exploration. So we're going to talk about our guesses first of like how many seeds will be in the pumpkin, how big it is, all of that kind of stuff. And so we're going to do that with a pumpkin exploration book. I don't know who this is from on TPT because my teammate next door had it and I was like, can you make me a copy of that? She's like, sure. So anyway, it printed 2 on a page, and there were some more pages than these, but I just chose these for the sake of what I wanted to do with my kids. So I'll show you real quick, but essentially they'll have to color if their pumpkin is tall or round, small, medium, or big. They will get to count how many lines and write the number of how many lines are on the pumpkin. We're going to count how many cubes tall it is. So that's another thing that we'll estimate first and then we'll actually do it. And then if their pumpkin will sink or float, they'll make their guess and then what actually happened. And then the last 2, inside my pumpkin has pulp and seeds. And this is how I will decorate my pumpkin. So with the pulp and seeds on this, I'm only going to have them draw what it looks like. I'm not going to have them actually write the number of how many, because I plan to do the exploration book on Monday and then we're going to actually explore the pumpkin on Tuesday, and I don't want them to have to come back to their books to write down just the number of seeds. We're not going to do that. So we're going to do this pumpkin exploration book first, and then teacher tip, only use a pie pumpkin if you're going to count the seeds. Don't use a full-size pumpkin. I learned that from my mentor teacher in my internship, and she got a pie pumpkin and I was like, really? Really? That is gonna have enough seeds for all of them to count? She's like, oh yes, trust me. I said, okay. And so we cut open the pie pumpkin and there were 312 seeds in this little thing. I mean, not this exact one because it was a couple years ago, but there were 312 seeds in this little tiny pumpkin. So I can only imagine how many are in a huge one. Comment down below if you know how many are on average in a big one, because I'm curious, and we're not going to count a big one, we're going to count a small one. So what I'll do with them is I'll just cut the top and then we'll take it off, and I'll let all of them feel inside the pulp. And then I made some 10 frames that I laminated so that I can just wipe them off and use them year after year. So I made 10 frames for each of them to be able to count out 10 seeds at a time. And then you probably, I might have shown you on my Google Drive, my computer's over here, that's why I'm pointing, but I made little sheets that have spaces for groups of 10. So after they've counted one by one in the 10 frames, then they'll move the whole group of 10 to one of those spots. So then we can easily count by 10s to see how many seeds that we have. I last year did not have any of that prepared, like the counting mats or anything, and realized very quickly that I needed some to help organize our thinking. And so I drew some out with a Crayola marker on paper towels, and it ended up being just fine. But this year I know ahead of time that that is something that needs to happen. So I made those and I'm gonna laminate those. I haven't done it yet, so that's why I don't have them to show you. But yes, I think it's gonna be really fun for them to get to feel the inside of a pumpkin, because a lot of them probably haven't done that before. So I'm excited. I lied. I had actually printed one of them so I could make copies. But this is what the groups of 10 page looks like. So I'm probably going to laminate this one too, just because the pumpkin seeds will be slimy. So I'm going to copy this on colored paper and laminate it, and that's all. I just found it when I was looking for something else, so I thought I would show you. Another activity that we're going to do next week is this monster adjective thing. Hold on, I'm going to start this over again. Another activity that we're going to do next week is listen to the story, Hey, That's My Monster. I don't have a copy of the book, but there's one on YouTube under Storyline Online. Storyline Online has famous actors, actresses, people read stories to kids, and so I'm gonna play that one. And then the kids will get to color this monster and sound out 4 adjectives that describe it. And then after that, they are going to get to draw their own monster here and then come up with 6 more adjectives that describe that one. These are another thing that I got from my teammate, but I know that both of them are free on TPT, but they're not part of the same product from the same person. This one, and I'll try to link these in the description if I can find them. This one is from Kaylee Huntzinger. There you go. And then this one is from Cora's Creations, I think. Cora's spelled differently than I've ever seen before, but so they come from different places, but I like them together, so I'm gonna do them at the same time. So I'll try to link those below. So on Monday, we're going to do our pumpkin exploration book that I showed you. On Tuesday, we're going to feel and count the seeds. I do have a parent volunteer coming to help me with that, just because the kids are probably gonna freak out when they feel the slimy, and then they're gonna be gross and all that. So I'm gonna have a volunteer come in and just help me pull small groups of kids to count the seeds and stuff, just because I think that she'll be able to better focus on that and like take pictures of them while they're doing it and stuff, since I'll be teaching. So we're gonna do that. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to make an anchor chart with them, again with adjectives of just describing what the pumpkin looks like on the outside and what the pumpkin looks and feels like on the inside, just to keep practicing adjectives. And I thought that that would be a cute way to kind of wrap up our pumpkin learning. We're also going to do sorting and graphing Skittles. So I bought these little tiny packs. Hold on, let me go get them. Oh boy. I'm back. I got these little packs of Skittles on clearance after a holiday recently. I don't know. They're still good. I taste tested them because I had to be sure. But it was a pack of 25 of these. And so I'm going to give each kid a little small pack, and then I'm going to have them sort them by color. And then we're going to practice graphing how many we have of each color. I also did that with my mentor teacher last year in my internship. And so I'm gonna probably this weekend make something on my computer, like a printout for them to sort and graph, because I looked on TPT and I didn't find any that I loved, and the ones that I did love weren't free. And I was like, this is a simple thing that should be free. So I'm probably going to make my own, and if I do, I'll put it up as a freebie. On Halloween Day, which is a Thursday this year, for our snack time, we're gonna make a spider snack. So I also learned this from my internship. My internship was awesome. She got double stuffed Oreos because then it's thicker for the pretzels to go in. But she got double stuffed Oreos and then pretzel sticks. And so the kids stuffed in 4 on each side to be the legs. And then she used a little squeeze tube of icing and then put, I think, either M&Ms or Skittles as the eyes. You could also use the edible eyes and put those on. I think I might try to find those this weekend, but it makes a really cute spider snack that's easy and doesn't make a big mess. I think I have a picture of one from last year, so if I do, I'll put it in right here. I just dropped my Bluetooth remote and I'm really sad. I tried to put the backpack on, but it's not working. Like, you can't press this button at all, and I'm really sad. It was only like $5, but boo. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about before. Oh, on actual Halloween day, I'm anticipating that the kids are probably gonna be kind of crazy and excited. I'm hoping that they're not, but I'm planning that they're gonna be a little nutso, just because they're gonna be so excited for Halloween and our field trip and all the things. So my plan is that we're gonna do fun fall station rotations that day. So I am going to put out an activity at each of the tables, and the kids will rotate through them throughout the day. So for example, the orange team will start out at their home orange table and do that activity. And then after the 20-minute timer goes off, they'll move to the green table, 20-minute activity. And we'll take brain breaks in between these because we can't work for that long without a break. And then they'll move from green to blue, blue to purple, and then purple will come back up here to red. So I'll have a different activity at each of those stations that will stay there, and then the kids will rotate. So I have a couple of the activities for sure that I've already planned and prepped already, and then some I haven't totally decided yet, so I'll just share with you what I have done so far. So for one of them, this is another thing that I die cut over the summer, but for one of them, they're going to make bat word family crafts. So they're gonna have, each of them have a bat, and then I made this page that said my word family with the intention of that they would write the word at on there and then put it in the middle, but I did not size these correctly when I printed them. So they're a little bit too big. So I'm probably gonna share these with a teammate of mine who's doing the same activity, not with these die cuts. So I'll share these with her and print them in a different percentage that's smaller to fit here. So then kids will use a white crayon to just brainstorm some other words. I had an example to show you, but I don't know where it went. They'll write other words that end in at. So cat, bat, all that kind of stuff. I also just printed from Lavina Pop, I think is how you say her name, but I just bought her word family's poster pack on TPT. It was like $3. But just this that the kids can kind of use as a reference. I bought her, you can't see them, hold on. That anchor chart over there, she has a set of letters. Actually, just hold on, I'm gonna show you. I have the others in my filing cabinet right here. Okay, here we go. So just for example, these are by Lavina Pop also, but this is the letter D, uppercase and lowercase. I really liked the clip art because it was like real people, that was realistic, but also was still cute. So we use these every week when we're learning about a new letter to brainstorm words. Anyway, I saw that she had a word families poster pack on TPT for like $3, I think. So I bought those, gonna laminate it and put it at that station. And then that will be the word family bat. So that's one of the centers. And then another one are these jumbo die cut pumpkins. They're like huge, humongous. They're bigger than my head. And then I'm going to have the kids make kind of a shapes pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. And so I used the die cut at school to make a bunch of little triangles, a bunch of little circles, a bunch of little squares and rectangles. And then I'm gonna let the kids decorate a face on the jack-o'-lantern using the shapes. And then I made a recording sheet at the bottom for them to say how many of each shape they used and what their name is. I showed you that earlier when it was on my computer, but I am planning to post that as a freebie on TPT. So I'll put the link in the description for that as well. And then I'm gonna have them mount this on a larger piece of construction paper with the recording sheet down here. Sorry, I haven't made an example yet. I need to do that. And then, so those are the only two that I have prepped so far. But then what I'm thinking for the other three is for them to make their own monster. So I know that we kind of already did that on this one, but this is not as fun as real googly eyes. So I think I saw this on Pinterest, so I'll put the actual picture here if I can. But basically I'm just gonna let them go to town and have a bunch of different shapes cut out of like triangles, rectangles, circles, all the things, and let them construct their own monster however they want to. And then I bought these googly eyes, they're stickers, because I don't have any liquid glue bottles. I only have glue sticks. So I wanted to get googly eyes for that had the sticky back on them. So the kids will just peel off the backs if they want those, and then they can add however many they would like to. So that is the third station I'm thinking of. And then the fourth one, I think I'm going to do Q-tip painting. I saw that one on Pinterest as well, but essentially it's just an outline of something fun, and the outline is made out of little circles, and so the kids will use a Q-tip to dip in the paint and then do dots. That's really good fine motor practice for them. We'll see if I end up doing that or if it's too messy. This marble spider web painting today was dipping my toes in the water of painting. It went really well, so we might try it. And then the last, I think that's 4. Yeah, that's 4. So I think the last activity I'm going to do will either be the 5 Little Pumpkins story book for them to work through and work on coloring, or I might do a sight word tree activity with some cutouts of leaves. I'm not sure. Or I might do something else, but that is my plan for now for actual Halloween day and those activities. So some other activities that I am probably not going to have time for, but sounded really cute and I might try to do next year. Just a quick list of them is 10 Timid Ghosts is a book, and then you can do a STEM activity with it where the kids build like cube towers to protect the ghost and all of that. If you just search 10 Timid Ghosts STEM building on TPT, there's a really awesome freebie that I found that came up. I could also probably link that for you. I'm going to read the Spookly, the Square Pumpkin book, and I was wanting to do a snack with graham crackers and orange icing, but I just think we're probably not going to have time for that. And then I wanted to do a Frankenstein directed drawing and read the book Frankenstein, and then talk about what makes the kids cranky. Okay, that's not too bad. That's all the things that I want to do that we're probably not going to get to do. So then on actual Halloween day, what I'm going to do is we're not going to do kind of our normal routine of things. We're going to front load the other days that week to get everything done, like our reading stations and all of that, as we also are doing that too because we have our field trip the day after on Friday, November 1st. So we're going to really work hard in the beginning of the week. And I'll go ahead and mention it because you guys always ask. But usually I get all of my teacher shirts from the Right Stuff Chicks, and I love them so much. I could wear one every day of the week if I could. But this shirt is actually, let me show you. I teach the cutest pumpkins in the patch. This shirt is actually from, I think you say it Arlex. I'm not sure. I think it's Aurlex. I'll try to link it here and also in the description, but this is where that shirt is from. I got it from Etsy. I got a few other shirts from that company at the same time I ordered this one, and I really like it. It's the same Bella and Canvas shirt that I love. Fits really nicely. I love the fonts and the clip art. So that is where my shirt is from in case you're curious. I am sure that I forgot to share some things with you, but that's everything that I had written down to share and everything that was on my mind. So I hope that that is helpful to you. And most of the things were really easy to prep and hardly cost me anything besides construction paper, which I already had. So I hope that you have learned a new idea or two that you can implement with your kids next week. And I hope that this end of October season, although it's a fun one, it's a super busy one, so I hope that you are surviving through it okay. I am so glad to be back and doing videos with you. I took a little break just because I wanted to really focus all of my time and energy and attention here at school on my kids and just kind of getting into the swing of things. So everything is going well. My kids are so sweet. They are some of the sweetest humans that I've ever met in my whole life. So I am just loving every minute of being with them, and I'm just so thankful to be their teacher. Okay, it's Friday afternoon. I'm gonna go home. Hopefully I can get this video edited for you really quickly and up, but it was too much to share on Instagram, so that's why I'm here. As always, it is really helpful if you subscribe to my channel. That was my watch telling me I need to go home. It is really helpful if you subscribe to my channel and if you give this video a thumbs up, because that kind of lets the YouTube people know that this is a video that other teachers should see and that I'm a channel that they should recommend to other teachers. So if you would not mind doing that, I would really appreciate it. If you have any ideas for things that you would like to see me post videos on in the future, please comment down below. I would love to chat with you. I hope you guys have a great weekend and happy Halloween. Bye.